Hello foodie friends, I'm really excited about this week's episode because we're going to see a tavern that is very near and dear to my heart because I have so many really cool childhood memories surrounding it. We're gonna visit the Eagle Tavern in Greenfield Village, which is located in Dearborn, Michigan. Now, if you've been lucky enough to get to go there, you'll know exactly why I feel like this place is so special. But if you haven't, I really recommend you looking at pictures on the internet just to kind of give yourself an idea of what I'm talking about, because it's a really neat place full of preserved historical structures. Now, this village was actually started in 1927 by Henry Ford. The Eagle Tavern just happens to be the very first structure he purchased to make this village. Now, this tavern originally was located in Clinton, Michigan, and then he bought it and moved it to the village. And in 1982, they stopped using it so much as a cafeteria for visitors and actually renovated it back to about 1850 appearance and turned it into what it would have looked like as an actual working tavern in that time period. Now, as the popularity of Henry Ford's car grew, he began to feel that he was responsible for destroying a part of American life that he particularly valued, and that was early American agricultural village type life. And so he decided that he was going to make this village to recreate that lifestyle so he could retreat to it. And he would actually stay in this village sometimes weeks at a time, staying in the Firestone farmhouse and sowing wheat and harvesting the wheat and basically pretending that the outside world didn't exist. And the spirit of that has actually kind of stayed in Greenfield Village, because when you do go there, it does feel as if you're stepping back into another time period and seeing an America that doesn't exist anymore. It's a truly wonderful experience to go and see all these preserved aspects of American history that you can walk into and take a tour of and go upstairs and downstairs and whatever rooms you want to. It's a really cool place. And the Eagle Tavern, I think, is one of the most special places there, because not only do you get to step back in time, but you also get to eat the food from that time period. And the food, every time I've gone, has always been spectacular. Even when I was in my most pickiest years as a child, it didn't matter. I would eat anything put in front of me as long as it was served at the Eagle Tavern. So let's go ahead, go back in time to 1850, recreate some of these recipes, and try them at home.
Now, since we have quite a bit to do, let's go ahead and jump right in it. We'll start by chopping up our onion for the black eyed peas. And then to a bowl, we'll add our peas, vegetable oil, the red wine vinegar, garlic, the onion, kosher salt, black pepper, and give that a good stir. And now, according to the Eagle Tavern cookbook, we find that this Eagle Tavern was once owned by Calvin Wood. He would have presided over the bar room in the tavern, and his wife Harriet, their daughter, and probably some hired help would have been responsible for getting all the meals ready. They would have done all their cooking on an open fireplace. And now we'll prepare what we need to for our chicken fricassee. Go ahead and dice up your onion, and we'll get our herbs also chopped up. Now, mine are still kind of overwintering, so I did buy fresh from the grocery store and also some fresh thyme. I also went ahead and cut my lemon in half because we will be using that later. And of course, we need to take time to appreciate the beautiful rustic colors all this chopping has left on our cutting board. We can also appreciate that with all of our modern day equipment, we have it so much easier than poor Harriet did in 1850. And now to a good stew pot, we'll add our stick of butter. Yep, a whole stick. And really appreciate that beautiful sizzle before we add our onions. And you'll go ahead and saute these until the onions are clear. And while the onions are cooking, I decided to go ahead and just make a nice colorful salad to go along with the chicken. And now, also according to the book, just like Harriet didn't have it easy in the kitchen, it seems like travelers in the 1850s didn't have it that easy either. A traveler named James Logan described his stay in Detroit in 1838 as pandemonium at the dinner table. He says, quote, "When the dinner bell was rung, there was a general rush to the room as if they had not tasted food for several days." So he hung back a little bit, waited his turn, but by the time he got to the table, all he could find was a fragment of bread and a cup of coffee. He also went on to describe at a Chicago hotel that the hotel was neither relaxing nor hygienic. He describes that there was no change of knife, fork, plate, or spoon between patrons. Now we're going to go ahead and add our flour to the onions and butter. Cook that for about 3 minutes. Next, add your sherry or apple cider vinegar if you prefer, your stock, bay leaf, chicken, thyme, parsley, nutmeg, and white pepper. You'll simmer that for about 20 minutes. And now, if you did choose to dine at the Eagle Tavern, you would have found yourself sitting at one large table with all your other fellow travelers, and would have been charged between 50 cents to $1.50 a day for lodging and all 3 of your meals. And now we'll go ahead and turn to our biscuits. Now, I featured these biscuits in a Time for Tea video, which I'll link in the description below so you can see how to make them. But I'll go ahead and quickly show you here. It's just 2 ingredients, your 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream and 2 cups of self-rising flour, and that's it. You make them up like regular biscuits, roll them out, cut them up, and can bake them in a 475-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes in a cast iron skillet. One traveler named Lansing Swan stayed at Ypsilanti and said he got an excellent supper, and for 25 cents, many large, delicious strawberries with rich cream. Now, this same traveler, Lansing Swan, also made his way to Jackson just in time for tea with strawberries and cream. Then, after church in Niles the next day, he came in time for another strawberry repast, and a rich one it was. "We had a new dish," he said, "strawberry shortcake, very fine indeed." And before he left Niles the next morning, he took one last strawberry breakfast. And now, while our biscuits bake, go ahead and pull out your cooked chicken and shred it up to add back to the pot. And at this point, you'll go ahead and add your cream, your lemon juice, and then season with salt to your taste. Go ahead and pull your pan of biscuits from the oven, and we are ready to serve. You can break open a biscuit, pour the chicken on top, and savor the goodness of a meal from 1850.
Now, this is kind of an approximation of how they would serve your food at the Eagle Tavern. You're always gonna get a bowl of like really good homemade breads. Incidentally, this bowl was made at Greenfield Village. They have like a glass maker and pottery maker and all kinds of stuff going on down there. And there would actually be all kinds of different homemade breads in here, like apple and cranberry and biscuits and cornbread, all kinds of stuff going on. And then you always get like some little pickled items too, like the black eyed peas and some bread and butter pickles and that kind of thing. So we're gonna try, this is, obviously their recipe, so we're gonna give that a try. And then the salad, I just paired it with that because I think it just looks good.
Yeah.
And with all this heavy cream, you probably need some vegetables to help you digest it. So let's go ahead. I say we try the chicken first. Oh my God. It is so hard to stop so we can talk about this.
This is
like
really good.
So hard. Okay. Really gotta put our fork down because I really just want to keep shoveling it in. Let's go ahead and try the black eyed peas. I'm just gonna try like a little forkful, I think, and we'll see how that goes. That's actually really good, and I'll tell you why. Because this is such a heavy, fat-laden dish.
Right.
And then you get like the nice palate cleanser of the vinegar and the oil and the
acid in general just like cleanses.
The raw onion. It's just kind of like a burst of like clean flavor in your mouth.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to eating this. And then you get your palate cleanser and then go back and So I can see why they would have paired all of these things together. Like I've noticed that a lot of early American types of food, and might be true for like England and stuff like that. They served a lot of pickled dishes along with like the heavy meals. And so now I'm kind of seeing why.
Yeah, I've also noticed while I'm sitting here kind of thinking about eating this again, I noticed like the bread also kind of has that tendency to kind of like suck some moisture out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But the acid kind of gets your salivary glands working again.
Oh,
and
that's
now,
true.
Like I'm sitting here, I didn't notice it till I'm sitting here, like I said, waiting to go back to like the chicken, and I'm like, yep, I'm ready.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a combination that maybe as a country we need to look into doing again.
Yeah.
Because I mean, pickles, something pickled with a heavy dish seems to just go hand in hand.
Yeah.
They knew something back then that we kind of lost.
There's
maybe.
definitely a complementary issue that we don't really remember.
Yeah. And so oh my gosh, okay. Are we just I mean, I know we always do 5 stars as like our top, but can we just give this 10? I mean,
it is really good.
You know what? I think this might be my favorite out of the whole month.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that, and I'm not saying that just because I'm like biased towards the Eagle Tavern. There's something about the pinch of nutmeg and the cream and the biscuit, the fluffy bread underneath. There's
a lot of flavor
about it.
There's a lot of flavor, but it's all tied together really well. Like it's not like no one particular flavor stands out.
No,
it
doesn't overwhelm anything.
No, it's like you don't taste any one thing, you taste all of it.
Yeah.
It does a really good job of balancing that out. And I think like like you said, the fat, the bread, all of that kind of comes into play. And it really does make like a perfectly balanced dish, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you made this tonight, I don't think you could go wrong. I mean, as soon as you taste this, you're going to see why we keep raving about it, and it's just wanting to like sneak that one more bite in there. But
it is a little bit labor intensive.
It is.
Like it's it's
a weekend meal probably.
It's probably not something you could do like any day of the week.
Yeah, I mean,
like after work or something, you're not going to want to really dig into this kind of dinner.
But on the weekend,
maybe if you got a free day and you just want to spend a little extra time, it's a good.
I think it's worth the effort.
Yeah,
actually.
definitely. It's not like as labor intensive as like.
Some of the ones we've done that were just like, oh my gosh, like 5 hours later, and this was not worth it.
Yeah.
No, this was probably about an hour of work. You know, I mean, you got to take off time for me because I'm moving the camera around and I'm doing different things. So if I just sat down and I was just like, I'm gonna power through this dinner, you could get it done
in an hour.
Yeah, I mean, But like I said, it's worth it.
It is very good.
The taste, oh my gosh. I don't think there would be a family member at your dinner table that would turn their nose up at this.
No.
I can't even imagine. And the black eyed peas, I would say I'm going to give that a top score too, because hand in hand, they both work beautiful together.
I think the black eyed peas would be a good side to any heavy dish.
Oh gosh,
you know what I mean?
not just this.
Yeah.
I would do this for all kinds of, any heavy dishes.
Other like meat starch combinations, throw that in there on the side, and that would
that'd
definitely
be awesome.
Yeah.
And the biscuits are really good. I mean, everything just kind of tied together to the perfect meal.
Yeah.
And so as for now, I actually followed on a trip several years ago to Greenfield Village. They don't actually print a cookbook anymore. This is from 1988. Now, my mom purchased this new back in 88 because we had season passes to Greenfield Village every year, and I think we were almost there more than our own home. But she bought this new, and you can purchase this on Amazon and eBay. And I would say, it looked very reasonably priced. So I would probably go for it and get some of the entrees. I might not fix,
a little harder to get.
It's hard for us, like some people, to get really fresh fish. And then to want to chop the head off and gut it and like clean it out and do all that. Yeah, so the side dishes and the desserts looked really good. A lot of your entrees were probably kind of touch and go as to whether or not you would actually do them. However, these little cards, now there's 10 recipe cards in here. This you can still get at Greenfield Village. You can purchase this on their website for $6.99 and have it shipped to your house. So, and that would help them out too, because they're struggling a little bit with global situation. And, obviously their, rates of tourism has gone down. I mean, that's just kind of like, part of it. Yeah, so if you want to purchase these little cards and support them through their lean time, and try to get them through their financial hump, then I think that would be great. And at $6.99, these cards are definitely worth the money.
Yeah.
Because
it's kind of like the best of what you're going to get in the cookbook anyway.
Yeah, it really is. It's the best of, and it's probably the most accessible recipes that you can do in your home kitchen.
Yeah.
So pick up those little cards. You're going to absolutely love them. And so, man, like I said, I just can't rave about this enough.
Apparently, we're going to have to, stop at every tavern we see.
I know, every historical tavern, just stop, eat, and, it'll be the best food ever.
And grab the cookbook.
Yeah! So that was our Tavern Month Extravaganza. And I think this was a win-win-win-win situation. I mean, all four was really good, and I think you couldn't go wrong with any of them. But this was probably my top choice.
Yeah.
If you want to just pick one, I'd probably do this one.
I agree.
Yeah. So stay tuned for next month, because who knows? I haven't decided yet, but I better hurry and get on it, because we got to start next week.
It'll be a surprise to them and us.
It's going to be a surprise to everybody, yeah. So stay tuned for that, whatever that is. And thanks for watching this week. I really hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for future videos. In the meantime, here are 2 videos you may enjoy. Thanks for watching.